Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the SoCal Sports Dudes podcast. Jason Wen here. Today I wanted to come at you guys with an NFL video. Divisional Playoffs or Divisional Round was just concluded here on Sunday evening. So I wanted to come at you with a quick update on how this weekend went and what we have to look forward to next weekend. So before we get started, as always, please subscribe, click like, and provide comments in the comments section below so we can help grow this channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here. So with that, let's get started. We had, of course, 4 games, which I tend to think are the best weekend of football, the best 4 games in the season here. You really have the final 8. Now that's been whittled down, of course, but 2 games each on Saturday and on Sunday. So first of all, we had Jacksonville going to Kansas City. Kansas City pulls out the win 27-20. Close game though, man. Jacksonville was hanging in there. As I mentioned before, Doug Peterson going in there against Andy Reid. So it was a coaching matchup there of 2 guys who were pretty familiar with each other. One thing worth keeping an eye on there, man, it's Patrick Mahomes. Looked like he kind of came up with a high ankle sprain on that. I don't know how that's going to impact him moving forward there. He was able to kind of grind through it. Of course, Henny stepped in, threw a touchdown pass, but Mahomes, of course, Chiefs obviously would like to have him at full strength moving forward, but that looked like a pretty painful injury there. So we'll see how it impacts him moving forward. Kelsey, big game for him. Pacheco, their defense came up when it mattered there, but Jacksonville was hanging in there, man. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, they've really grown up before our eyes here with Etienne and Lawrence. Christian Kirk, of course, Evan Ingram. So getting some key contributions from those players. And they look, I mean, the future looks bright for the Jaguars. Of course, this year is, I think, a little bit of a bonus for them to be able to advance into the playoffs the way they have. First of all, win the division, get into the playoffs and advance around into the second round and almost sneak one by here, Kansas City. But nonetheless, still lots to look forward to for Jaguar fans. They have things that looks like pointed in the right direction and a lot to look forward to there. KC, as people probably expected, is scheduled to move on here to the next round. The other game on Saturday was one that I thought was going to be a little closer than this, being 2 division rivals, but the Eagles really handed it to the Giants there. Giants, of course, were happy after coming off that big win there at Minnesota. So I don't know if they were complacent or just maybe had accomplished beyond what people had probably expected out of them this year by getting a playoff win there on the road. But yeah, Philly was just looking good. They, I was kind of wondering how healthy Jalen Hurts' shoulder was. I think he kind of answered that question yesterday. Their running attack was just kind of brutalizing the Giant defense there with Sanders and Gainwell was playing well. Hurts, of course. You got Boston Scott. So a lot of they come at you from all different directions there with the running attack, and of course, you still have the threat there with the receivers they have there and the tight end. So great catch to start the game there by Goddard, who made that kind of that one-handed, reeled that in, and it's kind of off and running after that. And Philly's defense was fired up. They look good there. Big 38-7 win there. So Giants, I mean, same thing as Jacksonville, kind of fortunate to have gotten to that spot and moved advanced past one round into the second round, but they really didn't have it yesterday. But I think Giant fans can be encouraged by what they saw this year and the fact that their team made it back to the playoffs. They seem to have a lot of the pieces in place now with the coach. And, we'll have to obviously see what they do with the quarterback, and Barkley's contract is coming up there. But, I always thought Daniel Jones, he's kind of proven that he probably earned his spot there. But now, as soon as the game's over, you're hearing these whispers of, they're still going to look at things and they're not totally sold yet. So we'll have to just wait and see. I mean, nonetheless, moving forward, the Giants are going to have some things to work on on their roster. But, a lot of positives this year, despite this weekend's loss there. So Philly moves on now to the NFC Championship game. The other games here on Sunday were Cincinnati at Buffalo. That one, I think a lot of people, of course, that one was just a couple weeks ago. I had to get postponed and then canceled because of the injury on the field there with Damar Hamlin. So they were able to play this through here in Buffalo in the playoffs. And yeah, Cincinnati just kind of took it to Buffalo there. Unfortunately, Buffalo, a lot of hype and a lot of expectations coming into this year. I think people really had high hopes for them, especially Bills fans. And they're a fun team with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and company. But yeah, man, this Cincinnati's just got kind of something about them with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Higgins and Hayden Hurst come up with big plays. You got Mixon running the ball, the defense playing well. Zach Taylor and the coaching staff there kind of pressing all the right buttons. So since he's looking good, man, they're a team that I'm sure a lot of teams are don't want to have to run into. But yeah, convincing win there today. I think that was really one-sided. Buffalo just was kind of overmatched there. And they made some acquisitions there in the offseason, getting Von Miller to help provide that pass rush that they need. So missing that probably really hurt them. And then it kind of looks, you can kind of see that Buffalo doesn't seem to have much of that running game. They don't utilize it enough, and a lot of the weight falls on Josh Allen's shoulders. So that maybe is something that they can clean up or fix up this offseason. And then the other thing I think they missed, Brian Daboll being there, him taking off and taking the Giants head coaching job. Dorsey steps in and does a good job there as offensive coordinator. But that's, to me, like a step down from having Daboll running the offense the last couple of years to now handing it over to Dorsey. They were in there, and of course they had a great record, and here they are in the playoffs. But yeah, it just seemed like they could have done more with the pieces they had there, and even at least made this a closer game. This was just not even really didn't feel like a contest today there. So good for Cincinnati though. They move on to play in the AFC championship game. Buffalo, unfortunately, is going to have to, head home for the playoffs there. Disappointing loss, and then way to end their season. As we talked about, high hopes and expectations for the year, fell short of that. But we'll see. They're still quality franchise and have a lot of components there. I think that can get them back to how close they were the year and the year before that, just sniffing the championship game and maybe Super Bowl talk was legitimate. So we'll see if they can get that back, headed back in that right direction, or at least add the pieces needed to take that next step. They are going to have a number of free agents, so we'll do another video for you guys soon on that with teams, free agencies, and needs and draft positions, things like that. I think that's real kind of fun to keep an eye on. So, and lastly, just finished a little while ago, Dallas at San Fran. The Niners really kind of grinded out a win there, 19-12. That was kind of a close one, and kind of a lot of field goals there in the first half. San Fran kind of pulled away a little bit there in the second half. Of course, that was unfortunate for Dallas when Pollard got hurt. That was a key weapon in their attack. Dak didn't look super sharp out there. He kind of had made some questionable throws and probably could have had a couple others picked off that weren't. So he ended up having 2 picks. But I saw at least 1 or 2 others that could have been. And even at the end there, he had that play where he almost got sacked in the end zone. The guy was coming right at him, and he kind of lucky to dodge him and get out of the way there. And of course the Dallas kicking game was kind of fell apart there in that game against Tampa in the wild card weekend. And then today he came through. He missed an extra point, of course, but he kicked a couple field goals. It looked like, all right, they're in this thing, but the defense was hanging in there, giving them a great effort, kind of slowing down the Niner attack. So it wasn't a lot of offense in this game, but at the end, San Fran made the plays they need to. Purdy made that throw to Kittle, which was like a juggling act off the helmet, full extension, avoid getting hit by that guy. That was pretty impressive play there. So, Niners moving on here to play in the NFC Championship game. So, yeah, good year for Dallas, though. I think fans, obviously the Dallas fans and Cowboy fans, I know a lot of them, they always have high hopes, high expectations, and really want nothing but Super Bowl. But good year for them. I understand they come up short of their ultimate goal of getting to the Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, but they get to second round of the playoffs, winning a playoff game there, even with some of the things that were seen to be maybe deficiencies in their roster to start the year. They were able to kind of get past that and get into a good position here. And I mean, a play here, a play there against the Niners in this game, and outcome could have been different. And hey, I don't think Cowboy fans can feel totally disappointed. I think that the Niners were, I think, on both sides of the ball and the special teams too, better team than the Cowboys. But nonetheless, it is what it is. They hung in there, they made it a game, and the Niners are going to be advancing to the next round. So we're all set now. Conference championship weekend coming up next week, so that's going to be fun. Early game on Sunday. Both these games will be Sunday, January 29th. Niners will be at Philly, or at the Eagles. Opening line I'm seeing here, it's 2.5. Eagles are favored by 2.5. So tightly, tight point spread there with this game. Not really sure which way I'm leaning on this yet, but yeah, I mean it's going to be fun. The Eagles looked really good yesterday. Niners will have their hands full if they play a team that if Philly looks like the team they did this weekend. But the Niners have been, 12 straight now. I mean, they're just rolling. So Brock Purdy, Garoppolo, no matter who's quarterback, they're finding ways to win, and they got great defense, great coaching staff there. So yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I think this final set of teams here. And then, of course, the later game on next Sunday will be Cincy at Kansas City. So Bengals Chiefs again. This was, of course, they've met each other a number of times here recently. Last year, they played each other in the playoffs, and Cincy got the better of them, of course, to move on to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, the early look at it looks like Kansas City's a 1-point favorite. Going to be interesting, like we talked about earlier with the ankle injury. I mean, how much is that going to impact Mahomes' ability to kind of maneuver and move around in the pocket, scramble, or make plays with his legs like we kind of see him able to do. So you might have to kind of, stay in the pocket a little bit more, or maybe not have some mobility. We'll have to see. I mean, I don't know how what kind of treatment he can get, how severe the injury is, how much he can grind through that, because that's a tough one, man. High ankle sprains usually are one that linger for a little while there. So, but Cincy, again, that's a team that got really close last year to winning it all against the Rams in the Super Bowl. They kind of know what it takes to get to that point, and they might be right there again, man. I think that's going to be a slugfest there, Cincy and KC there in the AFC Championship game next Sunday. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to come at you guys with a quick video on the this weekend's actions. No real news, notes, and rumors to kind of go through this week. Coaching hires, nothing really to announce there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Come at you guys with another video when something comes up or more news to share, a report on that. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you again soon in the next one. All right.